Alright, in the next couple of videos, as we use Sketchup to model objects for X-Plane, what we're going to do is we're going to point out some tools. We're going to build something right away. And what we're going to build is this cabin. Alright, so we're going to build this cabin right here. Very simple. And I'm going to try to get you to this point in the next 2 or 3 videos that will only last 5 to 6 minutes. Okay, so let's get started. First thing that's going to happen is you're going to come to a default screen just like this. And so there's some tools that we're using. Right now I'm using the orbit tool. And when you click on the left mouse button, you can orbit around. And if you push shift, you get this hand, and now you can drag it whichever way you want. And if you use the wheel on your mouse, you can zoom in and out just like that. Now you get this guy here, and he's a great reference to look at for scaling things. But right now he's right in the way. So I'm going to come up here to my select tool, or you can push the space bar, and I'm going to select him. And then I'm going to move him out of the way. So you can come up here to move, or you can press M and just grab this guy and move him out of the way. Click, left click, and drag. Alright, now we have our axis, and these are the XYZ axis. I'm going to refer to them as the blue, the green, and the red axis. What we want to do now is choose the rectangle tool. So we come down, and you can start anywhere, but what we want to do is make a horizontal face that's going to be the foundation for our cabin. So once I select this tool, I just left click once and drag it, and I'm not really worried about dimensions, and then left click again. Okay, I have the foundation. Now I can go down here to dimensions. I don't even have to click on the box. As long as I haven't done anything else, I can simply type in the dimensions. And this is going to be 20 feet. So, and then comma between the next measurement and 20 feet. It's just going to be a square. If you're using the metric system, you can go to the setup and preferences and change that. By the way, I'm using a Mac, so when I say Control, Options, Command, it may be different on a PC. Just try one of those 3 and you'll figure it out by experimentation. Okay, back to dimensions. I've got 20 by 20 here in dimensions box. Then I click in the dimensions box. Now I hit enter. There we go. I had to click in the dimension box. Okay, so I have, here's my foundation. I'm going to use the select tool, or I can hit spacebar and just double click this, and that way I select not only the face but the edges. And then I come over to the move tool, or I can click on M, and I'm just going to square this up with the axis. Notice it kind of snaps into the axis. That's very helpful. So I'm just going to drag that in there. If you don't have it exactly on the axis, no problem. But be aware of this, that anything below the red and green line is below the surface in X-plane. That's really important to know, and it's going to come in real handy later on in future tutorials. All right, So we have our foundation. The next thing we're going to do is enlarge this to make it a box. We come up here to the push-pull tool, and that's P on your keyboard. And then we're just going to left click once and start dragging up. And now we can type 8 feet and it will go straight into the dimension box. Click on the dimension box and then hit enter, and notice it goes right to the right dimensions here. So next thing that we want to do is come back up here to the menu bar, and we're going to use a new tool called the line tool. So either L or on your keyboard, or you can click up here. What I want to do is I want to find the center point on this edge right here. So I'm not clicking anything, I'm just dragging the mouse along the edge, and you'll notice when I come to the center it turns into that blue bubble right there. So I have the center and I left click one time, and now I drag. I don't have to hold down on the mouse button, it's just free. I drag straight across. Notice when it's red, it's straight on the red axis. And you'll get these indicator lines on all the axes, blue, green, and red. And so what I want to do is I want to come straight over to the other side, and notice not only is it red showing that my line is straight, but it turns blue, that blue bubble on the midpoint. And so I left click one time. Now I have this line dead center of my rectangle on the top, and what I want to do is I want to make this the roof. So I'm going to go up here to move, or hit M on your keyboard, and notice that it's selecting faces or edges, but we want to select this edge. And I found the center point, notice that blue bubble, and then I want to drag straight up. Now notice that dotted line that's showing up, it's blue. If I move over this way, that pink, we'll talk about pink later on, but notice that it's getting cattywampus as I drag it off the blue axis. So what I want to do is come straight up, make sure that that is blue, and then let go. And now I have my roof. So what happens if you make a mistake? Well, you can hit Command Z and that will undo that. You can also use the erase tool, come up here and erase that line, or you can just start over again. All right, let's do that again. Line, find the center, come straight across. I'm on the red axis. I find the center, I click once again. Now I come up here to the move tool. I select that one edge, click on it once, left click, straight up, making sure I have the blue axis, and then left click, and voila, there's my roof. Okay, we're going to use the orbit tool to orient here. That was O on your keyboard. And then we're going to use the line tool, L on your keyboard. Draw a straight line across. Notice the green axis there. And we come straight across, and one click, left click, and now we have a line here. And then I use the orbit tool, rotate around. All right, let's put another line. Click, left click once, drag it across, left click, and now I have my line. So That's the end of this video. Next video, we're going to texture this to make it look like our cabin over there. So just go ahead and practice making your house and using those tools, and we'll be back with the next video for texturing.